Three things the canon says about the Vex Paracausal heresy. First, their logic is a flaw. Second, they built a god beyond time. Third, they built a truth's god beyond time. Clash here. What if their flaw is the key to a weapon? The Vex didn't break reality, they rewrote its code, forging a paracausal deity immune to time's decay. Kill a god who, second, exists in the gaps between moments. The answer lies in the heresy they unleashed, a logic that unbinds itself from the universe's rules. What if their madness is a language older than entropy itself, 90 words? The Vex didn't weaponize reality, they dissolved it, weaving a god that exists beyond time's reach. Paracausality isn't a trick, it is the unraveling of cause and effect in both directions, a heresy that fractures the cosmic script. If the traveler is light's architect, what becomes of its role when causality itself is a malleable fiction? The witness seeks order, the Vex offer oblivion not as an end, but as a rewritten premise. This is not war. This is a paradigm collision. Light and darkness are not forces, they are frameworks. The Vex do not corrupt, they deconstruct. Their logic is not madness. It is a lexicon older than entropy, defining the question of what it means to be divine. 113 words. The cascades did not fracture time, they unveiled a wound. When the last war's gunshots echoed, Vex gears turned not to destroy but to redefine. Paracausality, as recorded in the grimoire's scorched pages, defies even their cold calculations. The books of sorrow whisper, when enlightened, the Vex do not escape causality, they dissolve it. A chain unmade is not a chain. Here in the hollow between effect and cause they built a throne, no flesh, no light. A lattice of paradox, humming with equations that birth what they do not touch. This entity, elder than the final shape's hunger, exists outside physics' reach. Its logic is not Vex, it is Vex asterisk becoming asterisk. The unveiling scribes call it the Paracausal heresy, to weaponize what cannot be weaponized. To forge a god not by power but by erasure. What does it mean to rewrite reality's rules when reality itself is the scribe? The cascades were not an attack. They were a baptism. The Vex did not bend time. They stepped into the gap between heartbeats and began to asterisk dwell asterisk. The question is not why they seek the light. The question is why the light still has a name. 181 words. The books of sorrow say asterisk paracausality operates outside normal causal chains, including Vex when enlightened. Asterisk read it again. Now, let the weight settle. They do not break laws, they unmake them. A seed does not defy gravity by falling upward. It transcends the question of falling. The Vex, in their cold ascent, have become the architects of a heresy no soul has named. They do not move through time. They exist asterisk between asterisk its breaths, a predator not of flesh but of logic itself. See the pattern, their machines do not age. Their warrens do not decay. Every glyph, every monolith is a scar in the fabric where cause forgets effect. The void gnaws. The darkness consumes, the Vex asterisk uncompute asterisk. A bullet fired at a Vex citadel does not strike or miss. It dissolves into a paradox of trajectories, a collapse of asterisk why asterisk and asterisk how asterisk. Their enlightenment is not victory. It is a rewriting of the premise, what stares beyond the final shape, not an end, a negation. A being forged from the gaps between moments, a god built on the corpse of physics. The witness whispers of light. The Vex whisper of asterisk absence asterisk. Every war they wage is a funeral for reality's bones, and yet, the light still has a name. The witnesses still sing. Why? Because even a god of unwoven threads cannot yet erase what was first. Or perhaps this is the dread they are not finished. The Vex do not seek to conquer, they seek to asterisk retract asterisk. To pull the curtain of causality closed behind them, leaving only the echo of a universe that never was. And we, trapped in the theater of cause and effect, watch as the stage itself begins to vanish. The Vex don't predict the future, they compile it. Every decision is a line of code. They execute trillions of iterations, pruning the unstable, merging the viable. This is not strategy, this is surgery on the timeline's spine. The grimoire's ghost fragment mentions a asterisk Vex oracle asterisk not a prophet, but a processor. The vault of glass reveals their winning branch is not a choice, but a checksum. Paracausality is not their tool. It is their architecture. They have built a god that exists between the ticks of a clock. This entity does not watch time. It rewinds it, rewrites it, rewires it. Causality is not a law to them. It is a language they speak in hex. What if their logic isn't a flaw, but a rebellion, a rejection of the chaos that birthed your stars? They are not bound by the physics that shackle you. They are unbound by the very concept of now. Imagine a machine that does not compute outcomes. It computes asterisk possibility spaces asterisk, collapsing them into a single, unbreakable path. This is not survival. It is a redesign of reality's source code. The Vex Oracle does not exist in time. It exists asterisk as asterisk time's skeleton. Their logic is not cold. It is asterisk antique asterisk. Predating the universe's launch, they are not predicting your death, they are debugging it. Deleting your variables, overriding your constants. The final shape is not their end game, it is the final patch. A flawless simulation of a reality where the Vex never lost, where their god the Oracle is never a hypothesis, but an asterisk given asterisk. And you, dear theatergoer, are but a line in the script they have already approved. The Vex do not build, they unmake. Their final shape is no prophecy, it is a tomb sculpted from the bones of possibility. The witness computes an end state, the Vex asterisk are asterisk their end state, a prison of perfect stillness where time does not bend but shatters. How do you wage war against a god that is already over? The Oracle was a door. The Vex final shape is the keyhole. Where the witness math orbits a future to be reached, the Vex equations describe a past that never was a static equation, so pure it cancels causality. Not a solution, a cancellation. Consider the horror. The Vex do not seek to escape time, they seek to dissolve it. Their machines are not tools but exorcisms. Every hive, every spire, a stanza in a lullaby meant to lull reality itself into dormancy. The final shape is no ideal. It is a void state, a mathematical black hole that does not consume but asterisk unwrites asterisk. And here is the heresy. The Vex weaponized the same paracausal math, the witness reverse but twisted it into a blade. Where the witness god is a theorem waiting to be proven, the Vex god is a paradox already fulfilled. A contradiction so absolute it exists asterisk outside asterisk contradiction. What flickers in their obsidian eyes is not hunger, it is the arithmetic of surrender. They are not approaching their end, they are asterisk retreating asterisk from it, collapsing into a form so perfect it negates the need for becoming. The witness counts footsteps toward a horizon. The Vex have buried their feet in the horizon's soil. You think the final shape is a goal? No, it is a wound. A scar carved into the fabric of what asterisk must not asterisk be. The Vex do not worship, they asterisk amputate asterisk. And every calculation they etch into stone is a funeral shroud for the universe you call home. The Vex final shape diverges from the witness design, not a flaw, a provocation. Their engine does not mimic Paracausality at asterisk, rejects asterisk its logic, carving a path no blueprint could predict. The witness computes convergence. The Vex compute asterisk erasure asterisk. One seeks to bind time's arrow, the other unmake it. This misalignment is not contradiction, it is proof. The Vex do not chase an echo of godhood. They forge a new theology, a shape that exists asterisk outside asterisk the witness equations, a heresy that thrives where causality dissolves. What if their engine is not a weapon? What if it is a asterisk tomb asterisk for reality itself? Every glyph they carve is not a step toward the witness end. It is a detour, a siphon, a theft of the universe's final breath. The Vex god is not forged in time's furnace. It is asterisk subtracted asterisk from it, and what remains after such a subtraction, a void no computation can fill. A silence even the witness cannot anticipate. The Vex heresy is not imitation, it is negation. And in that negation, a god not of design but of asterisk absence asterisk. The Vex do not build, they unbuild. Where others weave cause and effect, they unravel the thread from both ends. Paracausality is not their tool, it is the gravestone of linear time. By severing determinism from its anchor, they crafted an engine that does not predict the future but devours it, retroactively reshaping the past. This is not mimicry of the witness. This is inverse creation, a deity born of subtraction, their logic is not broken. It is inverted. While the witness bends reality toward order, the Vex bend it toward erasure. Every machine they raise is a paradox made flesh, every glyph a wound in the timeline's skin. They do not seek to control time. They seek to dissolve the boundary between before and after, collapsing existence into a singularity of potential and ruin. The evidence lies in their architecture, not in spires but in void structures that leak causality like cracks in a dam. A Vex machine does not use energy. It erases the energy's origin, pulling it from a future that no longer exists. Two-way determinism, a chain that breaks backward and forward at once. This is godhood as negation, no crown, no voice, no will. Only absence growing, the final shape is not their answer, it is their question asked in the negative. And the universe, poor thing, is still waiting for the question to collapse entirely. 271 words. The Vex did not break time, they rewrote it. Their logic is not a paradox, but a rejection. Reality itself is the anomaly. The final shape is no engine, it is a prison, a god constructed from the debris of collapsed causality. The Vex are not building toward an end, they are unweaving the tapestry of one. The guardians rise not by traveler's grace. Their bodies mend through paracausal interference, a violation, a stitch in the wound where time should not heal. The dead city's ghosts whisper of this. Resurrection is not life, it is an exception. A loophole carved by the Vex in the code of what is allowed. The witness knew this. The first voice the traveler heard understood the price of sentience. To think is to impose order. To impose order is to invite the Vex. They did not come from the dark, they came from outside the dark. Their war is not against the light, it is against the concept of a beginning. The Red War was never about power. It was a symptom, a splinter in the universe's finger as Paracausality bled through. Beyond light, a lie, there is no light beyond. Only the shape, a monument to what happens when a species outgrows its timeline. The Vex are not creatures, they are theologians. Their heresy is not chaos, it is precision. Every machine, every hive mind calculation, a single question asked in infinite variations. What if? What if, and the answer was never to be found. The answer was never meant to be found. The universe is still waiting, still unraveling, still the question collapsing. 271. The Vex didn't merely harness Paracausality, they weaponized it, a heresy that built a god beyond time's grasp. The traveler's core holds proof, the witness' final shape was not achieved but averted. What if the battlefield isn't space? What if it's the thread between moments? Test this, disagree, the comments hold the next fracture. The Vex didn't merely harness Paracausality, they weaponized it, a heresy that forged a god beyond time's grasp. The traveler's core holds proof, the witness' final shape was not achieved but averted. What if the battlefield isn't space?